days the elections. The government debunks Global Witness report. President Granger bestows Order of Rama on Barbados PM, and EU Elections Observer Mission launched. Stay with us as we take you through major stories covered from February 3 to 7, 2020. As we prepare for the Golden Jubilee Republic anniversary. Thank you for joining us. The start of the week saw President David Granger bestowing the Order of Roraima on Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, during her visit to the country.
The Honourable Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados, has been conferred with Guyana's second highest national award, the Order of Roraima.
The Constitution of the Orders of Guyana provide that any distinguished citizen of another country who has rendered valuable services to Guyana or whom for any other reason the state wishes to honor may be appointed as an honorary member of the Order of Roraima. This year is the Golden Jubilee, and it is significant that this dear land of Guyana pays special honor to a distinguished citizen of CARICOM who has rendered outstanding service and valuable service to the Caribbean region.
In conferring the award on the Honourable Prime Minister, His Excellency President David Granger noted the friendship between the two countries.
The conferral of Guyana's Order of Roraima on Barbados' Prime Minister exemplifies the essential elements of the historical fraternal relations between our two Caribbean states. This investiture is richly symbolic for Guyana, for Barbados, and for the Caribbean. Our two states pioneered the founding of the Caribbean Free Trade Area, CARIFTA, in 1965, prior to their independence. Our two states both gained their independence from Britain the following year, 1966. Our two states uniquely established a joint high commission in London soon after independence. Our two states' prime ministers, Forbes Burnham and Errol Barrow, were among the four founding fathers who signed the treaty establishing the Caribbean Community in Chaguaramas, Trinidad and Tobago in 1973.
I first simply want to say thank you because I accept this honor not on my own behalf, but on behalf of the people of Barbados. I'm conscious that it is the people of our country in Barbados over the course of centuries that have worked with the people of Guyana. And indeed, Mr. President, you have outlined quite well the various areas of coincidence in which our two countries have partnered. The path of our two countries is inseparable. And I look forward to our being able to build, Mr. President, on that relationship, because it is only in working together on a common mission that we shall achieve for our people. We are committed to working with you on a bilateral basis, apart from our also commitment as colleagues within the community of sovereign nations, otherwise known as the Caribbean Community.
The visiting delegation will hold a media conference later on at the CARICOM headquarters. For InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
Before she wrapped up the one-day visit, Prime Minister Mottley hosted a press briefing where she underscored the need for regional integration to be carried and sustained.
Regional integration will benefit the entire region, so says Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who's also the sitting chair of CARICOM.
The work in the integration movement is that of carrying a baton as our part of the relay race. This race started decades ago. What is up to us now is to be able to carry it firmly and in a way that will benefit the majority of our people.
The Barbados Prime Minister said regional leaders must work on perfecting the CARICOM single market and economy.
The standard issues continue to be with us. The completion of, and the perfecting, I should say, of the CARICOM single market and single economy, which we are working hard on and which we are interacting and interfacing with member states as well as the regional institutions, the Legal Affairs Committee, the Council of Finance Ministers, to be able to bring to closure those agreements that will allow for greater investment activity in the region.
Prime Minister Motley wants a passport-free movement between CARICOM countries. She said by removing all obstacles, it will be easier for Caribbean people to transit for work especially. During her tenure as chair of the Caribbean Community CARICOM, Prime Minister Motley plans to tackle issues such as economic diversification and climate change. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
Guyana continues to strengthen its diplomatic ties as the head of state accepted letters of credence from Portugal, Sierra Leone, and the Kingdom of Belgium this week.
At this morning's accreditation ceremony, President David Granger congratulated the high-level diplomats on their appointments and welcomed them to Guyana.
I assure you the full support of my government as you discharge your mandate as ambassador. Our relations are founded on the principles of mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs, cooperation for mutual benefit, respect for treaty and international law, and the maintenance of international peace and security.
His Excellency Carlos Amaro, Ambassador of the Portuguese Republic, committed to working to strengthen diplomatic relations with Guyana.
We believe in a multilateral approach, and it is within this framework that the accreditation last year of an ambassador of Guyana to Portugal will certainly help to further develop the relations between our two countries, as well as ensuring the flow of dialogue between the authorities and institutions of both our nations.
Meanwhile, His Excellency Sadiq Abubakar Y, High Commissioner of the Republic of Sierra Leone, issued similar assurances.
We share similar positions on important issues of global concern, such as sustainable development, human rights, democracy, good governance, as well as maintaining international peace and security. Let me assure you that we will continue to collaborate with your government to further strengthen our multilateral cooperation.
Ambassador of the Kingdom of Belgium, His Excellency Hugo Verbis, commented on Guyana's vast economic potential and expressed eagerness to forging new relations and strengthening diplomatic ties.
The government rejected a report released by Global Witness. According to the administration, the release was sensationalist, agenda-driven, and extraordinarily speculative.
The government, via media release, said Global Witness presented absolutely no evidence of corruption or malpractice on the part of the coalition or any of its officials, and views the international NGO report as a calculated attack on a sovereign state with a duly elected government. The government also questions the timing of the report, saying the fact that it comes a mere weeks before elections in Guyana is suspicious. Quote, "This timing cannot be seen as a coincidence, and it appears as though it is seeking to influence the electoral outcome." End of quote. On the report's comment on the drilling license for the Stabroek Block, the government outlined that credible international agencies have equally commented on this, among them Norway-based Rystad Energy and experts including Sir Paul Collier of the prestigious Oxford University. As per its current contract with ExxonMobil, Guyana will see or gets 50% profit oil, 2% royalty, withholding taxes, US $18 million sign-in bonus, over 1,900 persons directly employed in the oil and gas sector to date, over US $300 million in foreign direct investment to date, and over 700 service providers to date. In the meantime, Rystad Energy has stated that in the current fiscal regime, the government of Guyana collects its share through a 2% royalty and the 50% profit oil levy. Rystad Energy estimates that this will give the government 60% of the profit from the various projects the government take. Also, the average government take of 60% in Guyana is indeed favourable when compared to other large offshore producers. The Guyana economy has also been described as one of the fastest growing economy in the world and is expected to experience vast wealth as a result of the oil and gas agreement. Reiterating that the Global Witness report deliberately seeks to trivialize the national security and sovereignty of Guyana, the government shared that Forbes magazine, a leading financial publication, has described the Global Witness report as an ideologically motivated attack piece aimed at some of the biggest players in the oil and gas industry. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
Following its launch, the European Union's Election Observer Mission in Guyana indicated its commitment to ensuring transparency and accountability in the upcoming March elections.
During a media engagement this morning, EU Election Observation Mission Chief Observer Rama stated that the delegation's mandate is to observe all aspects of the electoral process.
The presence of the European Union Election Observation Mission demonstrates the European Union's commitment to the conduct of inclusive, transparent and credible elections in Guyana. We focus our observation not only on election day, but on the entire electoral process, including the campaign, the results tabulation and the resolution of any election-related dispute after voting has finished.
The chief observer emphasized that the mission will be impartial in their findings and conclusions.
The mission is independent in its findings and conclusions, and EU observers adhere to a strict code of conduct of international observers that requires they maintain strict neutrality and impartiality in the course of their work and do not interfere in the electoral process.
This is the largest EU EOM, which will comprise of almost 50 observers. It includes a core team of 9 analysts, 14 long-term observers deployed to the 10 administrative regions, and 20 short-term observers will join the team shortly before the March 2, 2020 elections. The mission was deployed to Guyana following an invitation from His Excellency President David Granger. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
The $130 million Green Enterprise Center in Bina Hill, Anai, was commissioned by Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu on Friday. Sonika Thorne was there and filed this report.
Hundreds of North Rubununi residents gathered today at Bina Hill to witness the commissioning of the first Hinterland Technical Institute, which has the capacity to accommodate 120 students.
The $130 million Hinterland Green Enterprise Center is located in the same compound as the Bina Hill Youth Learning Center in Anai Region 9. It has 8 classrooms, a modern computer and science lab, a large auditorium, and a lecture room. Delivering the feature address, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu said the institute will address the high demands for skills training in the hinterland while simultaneously promoting training that is aligned with the path of sustainable development.
This center is going to learn from the Amerindian ways, from their traditional education, and will fashion an education among the children of indigenous people that will be relevant, that will be necessary and needed to keep our natural resources as they should be kept protected.
Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, the Honorable Sidney Hallecock, is one of the pioneers of the Technical Institute. He said that the institution represents the actualization of a collective dream of the indigenous peoples.
Your government remains committed to supporting the access of education for every young person, even we the older ones, because we could still learn. It is a hope that this Green Center, much like the Bina Hill Institution, will serve as a beacon and pilot for the more institutions such as these to be placed in the key areas across our dear land of Guyana.
According to Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Nicolette Henry, the commissioning is a coming of age of the Green Movement, an expansion of the nation's education system.
This commissioning today is a powerful testament of the fact that the Green Agenda is no longer a sideshow in our hinterland education program. And that is why the work you are doing here at this institute is lending support to an inclusive and prosperous Guyana.
Also delivering remarks was Minister of Public Telecommunication, the Honorable Catherine Hughes, who noted that the new addition at the Beena Hill Youth Learning Center is an important aspect of President David Granger's vision of linking the hinterland with the coastland. At today's event, over $9 million in grants were handed over to 6 villages for community economic projects. 8 students of the Anai Secondary School also received bicycles in keeping with President David Granger's 5B program. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
The government engaged the Rusal Bauxite Company on the way forward following the company's announcement to terminate 326 Guyanese workers.
Minister of Social Protection, the Honorable Amna Ali, and Minister within the Ministry, the Honorable Keith Scott, along with Chief Labour Officer Charles Ogle, met with executive of the Rusal Bauxite Company to iron out the way forward in relation to the company's announcement to terminate 326 Guyanese workers. Following a lengthy meeting at the Ministry's Lamaha office, Minister Ali deemed the move disrespectful, and the government is demanding that the company reconsider its position.
We are advocating a peaceful, consensual decision on this matter. We don't want any side to lose. We want both sides to win. And I can tell you that of great concern is the workers, because it is not easy for 326 people to be laid off. So our first demand is that we are asking for all of them to be rehired, and then we can take it from there.
She noted that the administration will continue to engage the government on the matter with the view that representatives will return with practical recommendations.
I don't think we are enjoying good company with Rusal at the moment, but I believe that we can engage each other. We tried this morning, but they are fixed on their position, and give them a little time to cogitate so that they can come back with some real recommendations.
Minister Keith Scott said the company did not inform the Labour Department or the union about the move to terminate the workers. He said this move by the company is unacceptable.
To have erred again, and it's illegal to send home people without letting us know and without letting the
situation is not adequate.
It is. Our position.
It's illegal.
Why did you send to us? Why did you not send to us? You're around table now. Why did you not send to us properly? Those things is what I will never accept.
Rusal is the world's second largest aluminum company. It owns 90% of the Bauxite Company of Guyana Incorporated, BCGI. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
Eastern Airlines is getting ready for its March 5 inaugural direct flight from New York to Guyana with giveaways and diverse options for its new markets.
Manasseh Williams, who is one of the lucky winners of 2 free round-trip direct flights to New York, praised the arrival of Eastern Airlines.
So again, as a travel agent, this airline has tremendous deals and tremendous benefits because one suitcase free and the suitcase at £70. That's really great towards other airlines that has £50, and all airlines that we book right now, they're not giving any free suitcases.
Another ticket winner welcomed the increased competition.
When all these airlines are coming together, at least we'll have competition and we'll have good fares for the Guyanese public.
Eastern Airlines branding agent noted the company values the Guyana market.
You can get a plane flight from New York to Chicago or go New York to London. Those are just well-traveled places. Eastern Airlines is all about going to underserved markets around the globe and opening that up with low-cost fares, nonstop, with liberal baggage policy so that we can actually serve more of the world.
Marketing Director of Eastern Airlines, Josh Bustos, told members of the media the airline's paperwork has been finalized. Eastern Airlines is poised to offer non-stop flights between New York and the Chedijagan International Airport for as low as $169. Senior citizens discounts will also be available. Though the airline is cashless, meaning all purchases are done electronically, the marketing director indicated that other avenues for ticket purchases are being explored. Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
Guyana's first Indigenous Member of Parliament, Stephen Campbell, now has a building renamed and dedicated in his honor.
The building, which houses the Department of Citizenship, has been renamed the Stephen Campbell Building in Campbell's honor.
President David Granger, in honoring the indigenous stalwart, shared Campbell's vision for Guyana, one that is still relevant today.
It is fitting that this building should be dedicated to the memory of Stephen Campbell, one of Guyana's iconic indigenous leaders. Stephen Campbell is an ardent advocate of protecting indigenous citizenship. Campbell's vision of citizenship embodied the concept of national integration. This, he felt, could be achieved only if each person is respected, regardless of his or her class, ethnicity, or place of residence, and where everyone enjoyed opportunities for economic, political, and social advancement.
Stephen Joseph Campbell was born in Maruca, a sub-district in the Barima-Waini region in the northernmost part of Guyana on December 26, 1987. Campbell was elected onto the Legislative Council of British Guyana on September 10, 1957. Minister of Citizenship, Honorable Winston Felix, noted Campbell's most outstanding national achievements.
His greatest achievement was the act of crafting the Amerindian Act, the development of better health facilities, implementation of postal service, and the development of agriculture in the Northwest District.
The indigenous leader also pushed for Amerindian land rights to be guaranteed in the Independence Constitution. The path that Campbell carved out for Guyana's First Peoples plays a vital role in modern-day Guyana, and his works are celebrated annually in September during Indigenous Heritage Month. For InfoHub, Alicia Hands.
Just over 2 years ago, a flagship project within the capital has transformed the way travelers commute. Shaquille Bourne tells us more.
Enabling the seamless flow of traffic near the seawall, the Kitty Roundabout is the first of its kind within the Demerara-Mahaica region. InfoHub spoke with a number of bus and taxi drivers to understand how this project is impacting their lives.
The roundabout is one of the best things they ever do in the country for the traffic, to reduce some of the traffic and the slowing up and the backing up of the traffic. It was really good, it was really nice. And I hope they should put some more roundabout in around Guyana for ease of the backing up of the traffic.
That was taxi driver Randolph Gill, who works within the Regent Street area. Bus driver Shane Pickering commended the addition of the roundabout that falls along his Stabroek to Plaisance route.
I drive with the mentality that the traffic on the right has the right of way. So I just approach the corner with caution, and when I get space, I just keep going left, and it's a smooth flow for me.
With nearly 20 years of driving experience, Alan Gittins says he appreciated the education campaign on the roundabout that was executed by the Guyana Police Force.
I think they have done enough in terms of educating public. They use the media and they use it effectively. So I don't think there's any excuse for anyone saying they don't have knowledge of it.
The $79 million project connects Vicinjon Road, Carifesta Avenue, Kitty Public Road, and the Seawall Road. It features adequate road signs, LED traffic lights, and smart city surveillance cameras. The second roundabout under the coalition government was built near the Chedijagan International Airport. Reporting from the Kitty Roundabout with videographer Keon Blades, Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
After losing her rented home to fire, a mother of 3 has received a house lot from the Central Housing and Planning Authority. Isaiah Braffett has the details.
Budrani Manrup, along with her husband and 3 children, lost everything to the fire that destroyed their home last month.
My house burned down and I stay with my mother, and I come for the lot to build a house on it, to get 3 children, and they stay in there. So I feel good how coming for the lot, come to ask for the lot. So because I ain't got nowhere more to go.
Manrup said her husband, who works at a nearby lumberyard, has indicated that his employer will provide assistance in the construction of the house.
I get it, I got to carry it because I know I can get one more back again. So when I get it now, I got to carry it.
Manrup was just one of the hundreds who received house lots at the land allocation drive in Region 5 today. Minister within the Ministry of Communities, the Honorable Annette Ferguson, addressing the residents, said the government is committed to solving the housing needs of its people.
We knew what took place in the past
where many persons were left, in the background, and others were given preferential treatment. We are here to serve, and we know the challenges. We know the constraints that many of you face. So today, I know that many of you will be smiling when you walk through that gate, because your government, through the Central Housing and Planning Authority, would have given you a plot of land so that you can now become true landowners.
A similar exercise was recently conducted in Region 6, where over 300 lots were allocated. Reporting from Mahika Borbis, I am Isaiah Braffett with a videographer Anil Silal for InfoHub.
InfoHub took its cameras to the Plastic City community in Freedom Hope to gather views of the people there on the president's recent announcement to form a commission to address the issue of relocating squatters. More in this report.
Nestled just behind what is said to be the heart of Freedom Hope village on the west coast of Demerara, Plastic City has become the home of hundreds of Guyanese. With a lack of basic necessities like electricity and running water, living conditions there are far from acceptable. For decades, residents have been frustrated, but their hope was revived last week when His Excellency President David Granger announced his plan to establish the National Squatters Resettlement Commission, an agency that will transform the living conditions of persons dwelling on government reserves.
I want to thank the president also for really thinking about Plastic City and what he have in mind to do for us here. I want to thank him and congratulations for his works, and because I need help. I need some help.
The situation varies from family to family. Some persons have been living in the area for close to 30 years. The struggles throughout the years have been overwhelming. Hearing of the president's plan, they say, brings relief.
It's a good idea, yes, because if we get a piece of place, we would move.
I was living here like 20 years in JT, right? And I got like 5 children. And it's really rough for me. It's rough in this place. You can't get in water, you can't get proper light, you understand? And if I get a piece of land, if the government offer me a piece of land, I would be very grateful for it. So me and my family could even build something, so money raise and try to build something, or if the government help me enough for bill and I pay back, I work on a pay like if it's a rent, it would less pressure for me, right? I would really be thankful for that.
If the presidency we have to move, there's nothing we could do. We have to go with that. Once we have the land to build the house, that would be okay.
President Granger said the over 153 squatter settlements across Guyana remain a major bugbear. His mission is to eliminate such living conditions, providing instead a better quality of life for all. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
A challenge in a university classroom has developed into an economic opportunity and a way to keep the environment clean for a group of young entrepreneurs. More in this report.
On Monday, the group of young business professionals launched Lexa Quaters, a water refilling service aimed at creating environmentally friendly solutions. Co-founder Dequan Lewis explains.
The whole mission is to reduce plastic bottle pollution in the environment and keep students hydrated. There's 3 aspects to the business: the environmental aspect, the economic aspect, because we will be employing persons, and the health aspect, keeping students hydrated.
Founder Avon George said the idea was birthed when a lecturer challenged his class to use a personal water bottle for 7 days instead of buying water in disposable plastic bottles. George stated that the challenge created a problem that would only be solved by a refill system.
That was a problem because there is no service upon campus that could offer that. So we came up with this initiative, this great idea of, hey, why not offer water refilling service where students could come and refill their water bottle.
From the birth of the idea to present, the team of now former UG students have established the service in 4 schools, namely Leonora, Diamond, West Demerara, and Iflat Secondary Schools. Lexa Quaters uses strictly banked DIH's tropical mist water for quality assurance purposes and will be operating at the University of Guyana from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Faculty of Natural Sciences. The business promises quality at a fraction of the usual cost.
The regular 500 ml with the guys is be selling for $120. That's gonna be $60. That's a measly $60 to refill, and a liter is gonna be 100, and 1.5 liter is gonna be 140.
Ultimately, Lexa Quaters aims to have operating systems in all schools and to further extend their services countrywide. For InfoHub, Alicia Hands.
There's a saying that a woman's beauty grows with the passing of the years, and local Calypsonian Queen Makeba is underscoring this fact in her song, A Woman's Almanac.
What some men are telling themselves, when a woman reaches 40, she gone on the shelf. These men must realize one thing, a woman is still sexy and can do she thing.
The Calypsonian Carrot Bennett, also known as Queen Maccabee, says that her song is a reminder of the beauty of aging gracefully.
Usually men get sometimes disrespectful by telling women, even you, when you reach 29 or 30 or 31, I'm going to tell you have the almanac. So I decided now to teach them a lesson, to let them know we have the almanac at 31, but we come back on the almanac at 13.
The experienced Calypsonian, who has been singing since she was in school, brings her passion for the genre to the competition. However, before bowing out of the Calypso arena, Bennett plans to become a songwriter to future female Calypsonians.
Well, I would like to write songs for all of them because I love to sing and I write all my songs. I get third space in the Calypso, I get first in the Shanto, and I just like to write. I am getting older now, so I want to pass it on. So next year I'm hoping to get a whole set of young girls to write songs for them.
With 18 other competitors in the lineup, the Calypso semi-finals on February 9th in Bartica is gearing up to be quite exciting. Fans are also encouraged to go to the Department of Social Cohesion's Guyana's Republic Jubilee 2020 Facebook page to vote for their favorite artist in the People's Choice Awards. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
This has been InfoHub Recap, which looked at major stories carried from February 3 to 7, 2020. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Also, do take some time to review the Diaspora Digest and all the publications found on our website. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend, and remember, we are one people, one nation with one destiny. Goodbye for now.